Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Petriga, and today I am incredibly excited to present my project, The Alchemist's Mistake. This game is a fantasy point-and-click adventure where players must navigate a rich world filled with magic, mystery, and clever environmental puzzles. In this presentation, I am going to walk you through my updated design choices, demonstrate my current core gameplay loop, and share exactly how the project has evolved from its initial concept to its final form. Let's dive in by looking at how the project has progressed since our very first playable build. Since my first playable milestone, the game has evolved from a basic prototype into a highly responsive experience. I overhauled the inventory by implementing a focused, single item use mechanic, keeping player choices clean and intentional. To build a stronger sense of mystery, the room revisions include an angled camera adjustment and a significantly darkened environment, letting light-emitting assets guide the eye. I also expanded the interactable boundaries with wide clickable hotspots and clear hover highlights, while upgrading the background puzzle logic from simple placeholder triggers to stable state machine dependencies. All of this ties directly into my fully functional UI, which now delivers crisp mechanical feedback, an updated HUD layout, selected item visuals, and persistent objective goals right on the screen. Now, I am going to walk you through The Alchemist's Mistake. I put a lot of effort into making this game truly enjoyable. And as we launch the build, you can see that our first objective is to talk to the gargoyle. Walking over to interact with him, he presents us with a narrative riddle that gives players a vital clue to finding a hidden coin. Go look where stories are kept. Your key is trapped flat between pages of forgotten knowledge. This naturally points players towards the bookshelf where we can locate and grab the coin tucked between two books. Next, we bring this coin over to unlock the nearby treasure chest. Once it is successfully unlocked, the system delivers immediate UI text feedback, and ghost oil is retrieved and added to our inventory. Our final step is to walk to the cauldron and add the ghost oil, which triggers a blueprint state change to make the purple barrier on the door disappear. This purple barrier is actually my favorite part of the game. It required a lot of personal creativity to design, script, and implement in my blueprints to make it dissolve seamlessly, and it adds a beautiful, rewarding touch to the final end state. Let's look at the room and level design and how the layout directly supports my environmental puzzles. As I mentioned during my progress overview, the atmosphere underwent significant revisions. I darkened the environment completely to establish a tense, magical aesthetic and adjusted the camera to a distinct angle. This perspective ensures that players have a clear, uninterrupted view of the entire room and their immediate path forward. The objects are arranged to create a natural, intuitive flow. The gargoyle, the chest, and the cauldron form a cohesive spatial triangle. This setup guides the player smoothly through the puzzle steps without making them feel lost or disoriented. Finally, I designed the visual hierarchy around the room's main exit. The glowing purple barrier on the door serves as the definitive focal point of the space. It gives players a clear, glowing target to focus on right from the start, making the goal of dissolving it feel incredibly rewarding. Now let's look at the underlying systems that drive our player agency, our interaction and inventory setups. I designed the interaction system to give immediate feedback. When a player hovers their cursor over a vital world object, like our riddle-giving gargoyle, the locked chest, or the cauldron, the system registers the hotspot instantly. For the inventory, I deliberately chose a streamlined single item use inventory. Instead of bogging players down with a massive grid of items, they hold exactly one active piece of the puzzle at a time. This keeps their current objective incredibly clear. For instance, When you solve the gargoyle's riddle, you simply walk over to the bookshelf and directly grab the coin, which is immediately added to your inventory. From there, the active target deployment takes over. When you bring that coin to the treasure chest, the game verifies your inventory item against the chest's required ID, unlocking it and swapping your item for the vital ghost oil. Finally, the inventory system communicates directly with our environmental pieces. When you approach the cauldron, it runs an automated inventory check to ensure you are holding the ghost oil. Passing this item verification is exactly what unlocks our final level interaction. This brings us to the core puzzle logic and the major state changes happening under the hood of the alchemist's mistake. The entire level relies on a strict logical dependency chain. Players cannot simply walk out of the exit. They must systematically decipher the gargoyle's riddle, find the hidden coin in the bookshelf, unlock the chest, and secure the ghost oil. To keep players informed, I focus heavily on system feedback. So the second you use the coin on the chest, a clear UI success message pops up and automatically updates your HUG with the ghost oil. The climax of this pipeline happens when you bring that oil to the cauldron, which triggers my absolute favorite part of the entire game, the purple door barrier. I put a great deal of personal creativity into this feature, deep diving into my blueprints to program a reliable way to make this obstacle dynamically dissolve. When the cauldron registers the correct inventory verification, it fires a global event trigger. The blueprint logic handles the visual fade out of the purple barrier, seamlessly opening up the exit and shifting a room into its final victorious end state. It was a challenging script to figure out, but it adds a beautiful, rewarding touch that makes the puzzle feel incredibly satisfying to complete. Next, let's take a closer look at our dialogue and narrative moments, which center completely around our riddle-giving gargoyle. I integrated this character to serve as both a thematic guide and a functional clue delivery tool. When players interact with the gargoyle, the system cycles through a short text sequence. The most critical part of this interaction is the third dialogue line, which delivers the core riddle. Go look where stories are kept. Your key is trapped flat between pages of forgotten knowledge. I intentionally chose a clean, straightforward text interface to deliver this lore effectively without bogging the player down in long menus. This narrative moment is crucial because it perfectly bridges the story and the mechanical gameplay loop. By listening to the specific third line, players gain a clear direction needed to find the hidden coin in the bookshelf and progress towards unlocking the room. To conclude, I want to reflect on my journey developing the Alchemist's mistake. This project taught me a great deal about the realities of game development, especially when it comes to scoping. Instead of spreading myself thin across multiple rooms, I made the conscious choice to focus entirely on a single laboratory space, ensuring every interaction, from the gargoyle's riddle to the bookshelf, felt polished and highly responsive. My biggest technical triumph was undoubtedly working through the blueprints to script the purple door barrier. Figuring out how to tie inventory checks to a dynamic visual state change required a lot of trial, error, and personal creativity, but seeing it function seamlessly in the final build made the effort completely worth it. Through playtesting, I also realized just how vital clear UI feedback and strategic lighting are for keeping players engaged rather than frustrated. Moving forward, the clean state machine logic and single item inventory system I built form a strong, scalable foundation that I can easily expand into larger multi-room adventures in the future.